Let's look at yet another way that we can create GET request handlers that accept data, in other words, that are dynamic. So we saw in the last lesson video how we could create a method that handles query parameters. We called it hello with query param. It accepted a query parameter called name, and it used that parameter, the value of that parameter rather, in the response to create a greeting that was customized to the request. So we're going to do something similar now. I'm going to go to the bottom of my hello controller and make some space. And just in a comment, make a little note for myself that this is going to be a handler that handles requests of the form /hello/LaunchCode. So the difference in a request of this form /hello/LaunchCode from the last example we saw, which was /hello with a query parameter name equals LaunchCode, is that now the piece of data, the variable in this case, LaunchCode, is part of the path. It's not part of the query string, it's part of the path itself. This is not something we've talked about in this class yet, but you've seen this on the internet from time to time. If you go to Facebook or Twitter or most other web applications, you'll see that they use path parameters quite a lot to make dynamic requests. So let's look at how we can modify the code above to work in a similar way. So we're going to, again, use get mapping. And I'm going to say that I want this to live at hello. And now, in order to signify that I want this to accept a piece of data in the path, after hello, I put slash, and then between curly brackets, I put the variable name, in this case, just name. So once again, within get mapping, I have the string hello/name with name within curly brackets. I still need response body below that. And then I need to define my method. So this we'll call public string hello with path, with path param. Okay, a parameter like this is called a path parameter. And we're going to do the same trick we did above, which was to add a string parameter with the identifier name to our method declaration. But now, instead of using the request param annotation, we're going to use a different annotation called path variable. Okay, so this annotation, path variable, tells Spring Boot that this particular handler method is looking for a request to /hello/name, where that name can be anything, and we're going to take the value of that piece of data, that value of that anything, and place it in the method parameter name. So in particular, the variable we defined in this little path template in the get mapping annotation needs to be the exact same as the variable in the method parameter list. And then with that, we can actually just do the same exact thing we did in the previous example, which is return hello concatenated with the name. Okay. Now, notice these, you might think that these are similar, that these two paths would conflict, similar to the way that this path conflicted with our static response up above. The hello with query parameter path conflicted with just the hello path. However, since the variable is actually part of the path this time, that's going to distinguish it enough that Spring Boot knows how to handle it differently. Okay, let's start up our application and see how this works. Okay, now that it's started, we'll go over to the web browser and I'll make a request to localhost 8080/hello/LaunchCode. And there we see our customized greeting, hello LaunchCode, and we'll just change it again. We'll try hello Java, and we see the greeting, hello Java. So now, just to reiterate, this particular request is coming in with a piece of dynamic data that's part of the path itself. That piece of data is being used to create a customized response. And this is really the heart of web applications, to take a request that contains some type of data. Usually it's going to be much more complicated than just one little word, but it takes some type of data and creates and returns a response based on that specific piece of data. This is what most of web programming is about in some form or another. All right, and so in the next video, we'll show you how to actually create a form that takes a piece of data and greets the user using the same sort of approach.